My name is Bobby John, and this is my story. I was raised in a great family neighborhood in Memphis, Tennessee, with a brother and 4 sisters, and a great mom and dad. My mom was a devout Catholic, and we attended the same church that my family goes to today. Jesus Christ was a very important part of my life as I was growing up, but I began to wander in high school as I gained independence. I went to college at Memphis State University, and I was a very happy person with a lot of friends. I was in a fraternity, and we pretty much so partied every night. The partying continued almost every night, even after I'd outgrown the fraternity, and once in a while work would get in the way. Most of my friends began getting into serious relationships, and one by one, they started getting married and moving on with their lives. I fell in love with a beautiful woman named Pamela, and after 9 months, we got married, and we were blessed with 3 beautiful daughters, Grace, Emma, and Claire. Even though I had settled down, I wasn't going to give up my old ways. I assumed it would be okay for me to go by the bar on the way home with my friends. I always had a great group of guys that I could hang out with and drink, go to games, and party with. My decisions were wreaking havoc on my life, and Pam had gotten to the point where she told me that I had to make changes or move on with my life without her and the 3 girls. I found myself on my knees in the laundry room, crying and begging God for help. I loved Pam and my 3 girls enough to change. I loved her enough to seek forgiveness from both her and God, and I loved all of them enough to become a real man. The very next day, a friend and fraternity brother of mine, Tom, called and invited me to lunch. At lunch, he had asked me if I had read the Gospel of John, chapter 6, where Jesus said he was literally the bread of life, and how that affected the people that followed him. We talked about life and how and where God fit in. When Tom invited me to join a group of guys that met every week to hold each other accountable, I went home and read John chapter 6 and could clearly see the truth and mystery of Jesus physically present in the Eucharist. I knew that I had to join this group and go deeper. In our group, we talked about our highs and lows of our faith walk with Christ each week and what we were doing to build our relationship with God. We would spend hours, sometimes until after midnight, talking about our struggles and the church and her history. I knew I was on a journey to Christ and there was no turning back. This group of men that I had joined had led me to a retreat called Curcio, and it was at this that I learned what a true relationship with Jesus was about. I finally accepted that God loved me more than I could ever love him. I turned around expecting to have to run, yell, and scream at God to take me back and to help me. But he was right there. He was right by my side with his arms stretched out. He had just been waiting on me to invite him back into my life. This is the same story I've heard from so many men, that all they had to do was invite God back into their life, and how it changed them forever. How my family accepted my selfishness before I gave my life over to Christ is a true miracle. This has been a long journey, one that gives me so much hope and joy, and shows me how to get through the tough times that life throws at Christian families, a journey I'll be on for the rest of my life. I believe we're all on a journey to Christ. Some may not know it, and some deny it, and those are the ones we need to encourage. Some are just starting, and they need humble, God-centered people to mentor them. Others have fallen off the track, or may even have gone off the side of the cliff, and they need us to pick them up and guide them. My life was headed for disaster, and God revealed himself to me in a community of amazing people. And it's through this community that day by day I keep my heart and focus on him, and it is in him that I find true joy and peace.